You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator, too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
With the former angel of the 13th universe Merno now having to fully engage himself against Vegeta, our heroes are desperately trying to figure out a way to stop Merno from further eviscerating Vegeta, all while Goku still remains trapped within an unknown dimension left to deal with a clone Merno, as seen on the previous manga chapter video, with the real Merno having to battle against Vegeta, while Goku is left dealing with a clone Merno who is forcing Goku to choose which one of his family members he's willing to save. What exactly can our heroes do in this situation to further stop Merno from destroying everything they know, on top of Whis and the Grand Priest having to now make their way onto the battlefield? As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to smash that subscribe button on this channel and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload, along with giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys love Dragon Ball and anime, as well as checking out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist located down in the description box below, to where on that playlist you guys will be able to find all the latest and best Dragon Ball fan mangas created by the community for the community. So be sure to head on down below, check out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist for all the best and latest videos on Dragon Ball fan mangas. As we kick off the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Kai Universe 13 manga chapter special, with Merno having to be shown engaging against Vegeta, and with Merno being the aggressor and closing in at Vegeta, he went along to then tell him, "Do you feel that, Vegeta?" Stings, doesn't it? As Merno ends up clocking Vegeta in the face, he only then follows up by asking, "Isn't this fun, Saiyan?" Heads up, and the pun here is that once Merno ends up kicking Vegeta literally in the head, Vegeta is then only trying to do everything in his own ability to hold his ground, and with Merno being on the offensive, Vegeta went along to comment, "Damn him," because it's Vegeta now that's being pushed back by Merno, and as Merno continues this unrelenting assault, Vegeta went along to say to himself, "I can't believe this. His power is incredible. There's no way to predict his movements anymore. His entire style has changed. Even if I were to try and find an opening, I can't. He's too relentless now. He's toying around with me. I can feel it. He's slowly picking the pace up on top of being able to read my thoughts. He's too much to endure like this. Damn, he's polished his skills. His fighting style doesn't even have any openings for me to exploit. And he's smiling at me the whole time. He's taking me like a joke. I need to still try. I can't lose," because Vegeta admits that not only has Merno's fighting style changed, but his overall defenses now are incredibly sharpened, because Vegeta is having a difficult time in trying to find an opening to exploit, as only in space we get to see how Whis and the Grand Priest are desperately trying to make it onto the battlefield in time. As the Grand Priest grows nervous, he then went along to comment, "I sense a great disturbance with Merno. Whis, how much longer? I fear that Merno has reached and is about to use his full power. I can also sense Vegeta's energy fading rapidly. If this goes on, then he won't make it much longer. Merno's got him cornered, I'm afraid, but he's doing the best he can with what he has. You must hurry, Whis." As Whis went along to respond, there was a sudden change in locations. Merno must have moved Vegeta to another planet far from Earth's. It shouldn't be long now, and if I'm right, then we should be there in just about 1 minute. I can feel Merno's power growing. So there is one thing that that really troubles me about this specific scene here, and that's the fact that we've seen the Grand Priest literally be able to use a ability and or technique that allowed him to move freely through space-time, to where we saw the Grand Priest literally be able to transcend universe and dimensions within literally the blink of an eye. So my question is, why isn't he doing that here? If the Grand Priest is supposed to be literally a being that is so cognitive and so powerful, then how come he can't simply move through space-time as easy as creating a portal and getting to Merno and simply having to save time? But needless to say, there is a reason for this, because only then we go back to Super Buu and Golden Frieza, who are still yelling at the barrier as they both go on to cry out, "Useless golden broomstick, dumb pile of space trash, you ugly overlord of garbage, you disrespectful pink bottom feeder, stupid bubblegum pile of rotten flesh," and they're really trying to go out of their way to indirectly insult each other while still trying to shatter the barrier in front of them, and it's working, but not at the pace in which they want it to be, as only then Merno ends up showing up right in between the barrier and our heroes, as Super Buu goes on to cry out, "Frieza, brace yourself, he's coming right for us." As Frieza responds, "How is he moving so fast like that, curse him? He's going to break the barrier." But right before Merno actually ends up making physical contact against them, what he ends up doing is bouncing right off of the barrier back onto Vegeta, as they both go on to ask, "What?" with Merno telling them, "Don't you worry, I'll deal with the two of you in just a minute." So Merno isn't really concerned about Buu, he isn't really concerned about Frieza, because his primary focus and target is Vegeta. So with Merno having to just bounce off the shield so quickly, it really goes as far as to show that Buu and Frieza really need to do more work if they ever plan on helping Vegeta to begin with, as only then with Merno having to further attack Vegeta, he went along to then ask him, "I thought you were in control, Vegeta," and the second Vegeta gets hit, he went along to say to himself he's increased in power yet again, because Merno keeps growing in strength, as of course he ends up uppercutting Vegeta in the sky. What Merno ends up telling Vegeta then is, "Let me show you even more power." As he begins to channel his energy together, Vegeta is really in a situation to where he has no backup, his power is fading, but then Merno ends up completely lying to Vegeta, as we've seen on the previous manga chapter video, when Merno originally asked Vegeta if he was willing to agree in simply having to use their fists to fight. What Merno ends up doing then is unleashing a massive energy blast up in the sky directed towards Vegeta, as he went along to then tell him, "Welcome to the end of your life, was it? Well then, welcome to the end of yours." And as this blast begins to eerily enough creep towards Vegeta, there's nothing he could do in this situation, because Merno had already proven to overpower Vegeta, and with Vegeta looking on, there is a massive explosion that ends up taking place on the planet itself, as only then finally Whis and the Grand Priest finally arrive, and as they get there, they overlook this massive barrier having to cover the planet, as the Grand Priest goes on to comment, "This is it, Whis, Merno's battle with Vegeta has begun. They are both located within this barrier, likely created by Merno for protection." With Whis responding, "Indeed, Grand Elder. Should we shatter this wall then and make our way onto the battlefield? What are they doing?" And with Whis then looking on, he then notices how Super Buu and Golden Frieza are still continuously shouting at the barrier, as they both go on to comment, "You waste of space golden punching bag, you brainless pile of bubblegum trash." So they're still trying to do everything in their ability to break down the barrier so they can get to Vegeta quick enough in time before Merno actually ends up destroying him, because to their credit, they have been doing this for quite some time, until Whis ends up popping up behind them. He went along to then tell Buu, "So I see you've all went through with your plans to fuse. Impressive. Are you trying to break this wall?" As Buu went along to respond, "Whis, yeah, we've been at it for a while, but it's barely breaking. I even had Frieza's help, and yet nothing seems to be working." Vegeta had already started his battle with Merno, and by the looks of things, he also seems to have his full powers restored to him, which makes it harder for us to do anything to get inside. We're left with no other choice since our attacks aren't working. As Whis went along to respond, "By shouting insults will only prolong the shield from being destroyed if you don't give it everything you have into meaning what you say. It's not easy." As Buu went along to ask, "But we've tried putting in as much as we could into what we say to break it, so what are we doing wrong? Time's running out for Vegeta and Goku is nowhere to be seen." As Whis then takes a step back, he then went along to comment, "It's been a while, but here goes. You are the absolute worst. "You suck, Merno," and Whis ends up shouting so loud that essentially enough, based on the overall narrative, it's Whis that ends up destroying this wall completely, because with Frieza and Boo having to be shown covering their ears because Whis is so damn loud, what I ended up getting from this is the fact that this whole time it was Boo and Frieza that were insulting each other, but if you pay attention to what Whis is doing, he's actually insulting Merno. So perhaps by insulting Merno in such a way, it's going to cause the barrier to finally crack down, as meanwhile back inside of the unknown dimension we go back to Goku and Merno, as Merno went along to comment, well, mortal, you did it! And here I thought you were doomed to lose everything, and now look at you. You've completed it. I am amazed, Goku, as only then we get to see in one of my absolute favorite shots of this entire fan manga is Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku having to hold his wife in one hand and his granddaughter in the other, as Merno went along to tell him, "You've summoned the strength to save your family. You continue to amaze me, warrior." So this whole time Merno had actually pushed Goku in forcing him to compete in this game of his, and if he didn't, then the lives of his family were going to perish, as seen on the previous manga chapter video. And with Goku being left with no other choice but to further participate in this game, the end result actually ends up being Goku saving Pan and Chi-Chi from Merno's wrath, to where if you pay close enough attention, it wasn't just the powers of Ultra Instinct that saved the day, but if you take a look at what's next to Merno and then take a look at what's next to Goku, another set of portals are actually next to Goku, as Merno went along to respond without you even knowing you've tapped back into and even mastered Ultra Instinct. It's rare for a mortal to obtain a power that not even the gods can achieve. Now I see who the strongest of the 7th is. I know of it too, but it's still nothing that I cannot deal with. And with Goku absolutely shocked, he went along to comment, "I've retained Ultra Instinct again? How did this even happen? My power is incredible, but when did this happen?" As the little Omni King individual then went along to tell Goku, "When you were left with no other choice, Kakarot." And with Goku turning around, he then continues, "Your mind and body merged as one when you knew that your physical abilities weren't enough. You reacted without thinking. It was as I told you before, there is much to learn. Unlike before, you can now remain in this form a lot longer. But such a power is still not permanent, at least for you that is. You have grown much stronger than when you came here, and now it's time, Saiyan. While here, you were able to learn of Merno's portals. It was what you used to save your family on top of Ultra Instinct. With the ability to create such things, you can leave now. However though, the real Merno is still a very difficult opponent and cannot be beaten so easily. With the powers of Ultra Instinct and the skill to create these portals, you will be fine." So this only further confirms that Goku had not only wanted to see Merno's special ability in the fact that he wanted to learn it for himself, but given the narrative that Pan and Chi-Chi's life was literally hanging in the balance, with Goku remembering this, he ended up actually using Merno's portals to get them back. And it's really nothing new in the fact that we've seen Goku mimic abilities ever since the original Dragon Ball days, going into Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. So with Goku doing this, it doesn't come as a surprise, but doing that on top of Ultra Instinct most definitely is. As of course, the little Omni King individual then goes on to comment, "This may be the last time I ever see you again, but just remember what I have told you and what you have learned in this place, and you will be fine. If you begin to doubt yourself in this battle, then you've already lost, mortal." As Goku went along to respond, "I won't. I really learned a lot here." As the individual then comments, "Oh, and I believe it's time for a new set of fresh clothes too." Here we are now. As he then sticks his hand out, we get to see how Goku is then rocking the traditional gi that he wore towards the end of Dragon Ball Z, the blue gi that he originally had going into Dragon Ball GT, as Goku went along to comment, "Oh wow, this feels great." As the individual then responds, "I wish you well, Kakarot, and if somehow you figure it out, come back anytime. Don't waste time out there either." As Goku then goes on to open up his own portal, he then went along to tell him, "I promise to do my best. Thank you for helping me. And now, it's time to settle the score, Merno," as the manga chapter special then comes to a close. Now, I do have a very special surprise for you. So as you guys can see on screen, we are currently working on a spin-off story involving Broly and Merno, to where not only are we going to be diving more in depth with other characters and showcasing what it would actually be like for Merno to engage against Broly and many other surprise characters that I have for you, the only place where you will get to see this is on this channel, so of course we are going to have a massive like goal on this video. If we can smash out 10,000 likes on this video, then I will try my absolute best to get the Broly versus Merno video out as quickly as I can, because right now that story is currently being written in. You guys can expect to see some of the absolute best come from this, in the fact that we have a lot of surprises coming for you guys, and it's all thanks to your support. I absolutely loved the concept idea behind Goku having to master Ultra Instinct inside of this unknown dimension, and what better way for him to do so than to have the life of his granddaughter and wife having to be placed on the line, which forced Goku into tapping into such a rare power, in which we are going to be further translating the next manga chapter in English on this channel in just about 2 days. So if you guys want to find out what happens next with Goku having to not only master Ultra Instinct, but be able to create his own portals now, to where assumingly we can only predict Goku in using these portals to escape this dimension, and then finally arriving on the battlefield to help Vegeta fight against the real Merno, then I do encourage you guys to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. That way you guys can be alerted on your phones and PCs whenever that video is going to be posted onto this channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are genuinely ready now to see how Goku's training is going to pay off against Merno. Now, the only thing I found really annoying about this entire fan manga is the fact that the Grand Priest could literally, as I said at the beginning, just manipulate space-time to go wherever he wants. So for him to prolong that, and for him to be traveling with his son, who assumingly enough compared to the Grand Priest is much slower, really doesn't make any sense. But I really enjoyed the level of brutality that Merno is displaying here, because he promised Vegeta, he promised Boo, and he promised Frieza that he was going to show them his true power, and he was about to, until his brother and his father ended up getting there. So I can't wait to see what the final confrontation is going to look like involving these characters. But I have 2 questions for all of you guys in the community, and that's number 1, which antagonist do you guys prefer more? Do you guys prefer Moro from the actual Dragon Ball Super manga, or do you guys prefer Merno from the Dragon Ball Super fan manga? Because it's 2 different characters from 2 different realms, in one having to be official and the other one having to be fan-made. So Merno or Moro? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And number 2, do you guys believe that Merno has something up his sleeve? Because even if he were to be destroyed right now, do you guys think that somehow he's hiding something and really isn't dead, but more or less playing into the hands of creating more clones and further thus getting to the Omni King? I want to get your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links will be located down in the description box below, as well as copping some dope merch, guys. You guys can find the merchandise store located down in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Peace. And the quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button, along with turning on all notifications, as to there you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!